Alright, what is up, everybody? It's Leeds, and we're back for some more Mass Effect 3 multiplayer action. And, well, we are, of course, taking any requests from you guys in chat. Let us know what you would like to see from a character, weapon, enemy, arena standpoint. We'll make it happen. Let me jump into Discord as well. I think the people that I was playing with may still need a minute here. They may not be ready just yet, but we'll see. Hello, I am back. I don't know if you are ready to return just yet, Dusk. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Alonzo, who was joining us previously, said that he'd be back in 20 minutes a few minutes ago. So that may mean we do a round without Alonzo, and depending on Dusk's availability, I think he had to do something that I may take a little bit of time, not entirely sure. So we might just even hop into a public lobby here real quick and see what happens. Unless, of course, you guys have anything in particular you want to see for this one. But, well. Let's see. No word in chat of anyone else who wants to hop in, because it does look like we may have some spots here. Not seeing anyone in Discord saying they're looking to get in. So, tell you what, yeah, how about we'll just pop in and do a quick match here. And, I'm thinking, I was playing a fair bit this week in between streams of Flamer Vorcha, and it was a lot of fun. So, why don't we just do a match that way? And, I hope we can join in a random gold group here, and we'll just see what happens. And, of course, we might end up getting thrown straight into something that is already in the middle of a wave, but, apparently not. Got Earth not paying.
Hey, sorry, I'm a little late.
Hey, what's up, Dusk? I actually just got back myself, so no worries. I joined a random public group because I wasn't sure to what extent people are going to be ready. There is a spot available right now, but it may just make sense for us to go back to creating our own party now that you're back. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, just so we can have control over the difficulty and map and everything.
Okay. Let me exit this one and I'll get one booted up. Okay, so. Okay, let's get Dusk. Invite should be on its way. And Alonzo was saying would need, I don't know exactly how long ago he said this, but said 20 minutes a few minutes ago, so I'm thinking maybe we do a round without him and then he might pop back in.
Okay, yeah. Let's see, what else do we want to pull out here? What's something this is that state that we want?
Oh, yeah. What do we still want to experiment with here? Is Battlefield 3 Soldier... It is different from the usual human soldier. Okay, I was going to say, like, is it? Is it? A little bit.
It's very similar. You just have carnage instead of concussion shot.
Okay.
But yeah, it's close to the same. Just because, I mean, honestly, on normal human soldier, most of the time you probably drop concussive shot anyway and don't even take it. The BF3 soldier you can take in a slightly different direction because you can use carnage and frag grenade to get fire explosions, which is a thing. But yeah. You can also basically just play it similar to a normal human soldier and just drop carnage and play it basically the exact same.
Yeah, I feel like I've played far less soldier than anything else, just overall over the course of my entire history of playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I mean, like, we've got the Turian headshot space cowboy, but outside of that, I mean, every now and again, we've done some silliness with the quick-firing human soldiers, but not much else. Every once in a while, go get Juggernaut, but
I think I'm gonna pull out the Trillion Havoc. I have hardly played this thing, and I love the idea of it so much, but I'm not really good at it because I've only played it like once,
I
and
have
I don't
the
think it was. I
which
don't
is
think it
that
was
the
fully
Sentinel?
leveled even then. No, it's the
Let's see.
Soldier. The
He's a
Trillion
soldier?
Havoc.
Okay. I don't think I have him, but I do have I just recently picked up the Turian Saboteur. I don't know if that's we could both try some different Turian stuffs for this one.
Yeah, the special. I forgot what the name of these Trillions is, but between the Havoc and the Saboteur and the whatever the Infiltrator one is called,
Hmm.
the Armature Legion. That's it. The Armature Legion Trillions.
Yeah, I do not have that one. I also have no idea how you create, what the go-to strategy for building a Turian Saboteur might be, but, well, only one way to find out, right?
Not gonna lie, I don't know either.
Well, maybe in that case it might be best to perhaps, well, wait for someone who's more experienced to give us some advice on that front. I don't know.
Yeah, because what you have, Overload, Sentry Turret, and Stimulant Pack?
It's no, for this one, so it's the engineer one, it's sabotage, sentry turret, and homing grenade.
Oh, that one doesn't get Stimulant Pack. Interesting. Okay. So now, I think both of the other ones do.
Yeah, I've not played. I don't think I've played barely any Turian outside of the Space Cowboy one. Maybe Sentinel briefly, yeah. Little bit of Turian Sentinel, but mostly
Trillion
just Turian
Sentinel is nice just because it's so, like, well-rounded.
Yeah, yeah.
You can just, like, because you're a Trillion, you're super solid with weapons, and you have a detonation power for attack and a detonation power for biotic, so you can just kind of be the, like, kind of the perfect completion to any team.
Uh-huh. Can fit in anywhere. Yeah. So in that case, I don't know, part of me is also a little tempted. I mean, this would not be very creative, not be deviating much, but I was just saying how I've been playing a fair bit of the Forcha Sentinel with the Flamer, and I mean, it looks like you could potentially make Forcha of numerous different classes more or less with the same type of build out, where you have, well, maxed out Flamer, Bloodlust, and then, your last ability, sure, throw a few points in it if you like it. But otherwise, plays pretty similarly, I might think.
Yeah, I mean, most Flamer builds aren't gonna play too different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about between the Voyager Sentinel and the Voyager Soldier.
Yeah, I mean, Engineer looks like that probably deviates more.
Yeah, the Voyager Soldier, you do have Carnage, which can set off fire explosions from your Flamer, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas on Sentinel, you have Bloodlust, Flame, and what's the other one on Sentinel?
It's the biotic grenades or whatever they're called. Cluster grenade.
Oh, cluster grenades. Yeah, those can also set off your fire explosions, but of course they're less reliable since they're a grenade and you don't necessarily have them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to rely more on fire explosions, then Carnage can give you those.
Nope, I did not mean to. Oh, don't exit the lobby, but I did not mean to use the human sentinel there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm feeling indecisive, but it just feels like, I like the Flamer Vorcha a lot, but it's not the most creative choice here, because it is something that I've been starting to play a fair bit. So we're deliberately trying to make a point of doing something that's newer. Tell you what. Do you know anything about the N7 Shadow?
I know that there are quite a few different ways to build it, and I know that the way I build it is weird and memey.
I mean, that one certainly intrigues me. It does look really cool.
Yeah, you can. There are definitely different ways you can go with it. You can definitely do a melee build with it. I do a build that tries to get as much damage out of Shadow Strike as possible, and tries to like use it multiple times, which is like a little different. But yeah, there are a lot of different ways you can spec it, so you can take a peek at it.
Huh. Alright, let me give this a look. So is this basically like a phantom?
Kinda, yeah. Um, Basically, so you have your tactical cloak, which is just a good old tactical cloak, and then you have Shadow Strike, which is basically a power that directly teleports you behind somebody and makes you sword strike them. Um, so you just like it's kind of like biotic charge like teleports you to people, except you just zoop right behind them and then just hit them with a big old sword strike.
Hmm.
Um, and then you have electric slash, which is like kind of this. It's kind of like a shockwave that just looks extra fancy. It's a lot better
Okay.
than shockwave. Don't get me wrong. But you kind of do this weird sword flippy thing, and then you like slice forward and send out some electric shockwaves in front of you.
Oh, I have seen people use that. It does look epic.
It does look cool.
Unfortunately, there's not really enough space to just be the phantom of the space. Or phantom of... Get rid of the... Phantom of... Space opera. No, it's not gonna fit. I guess we'll just do space. It doesn't really get the full reference, but we'll deal with it. Okay, let's do that. Oh no, don't cancel. Confirm. Okay, so then powers-wise, so we have the cloak, we have the electrical slash, we have the shadow strike. It seems like there's a lot of cool stuff here, and it's gonna be hard to choose what not to upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, with the like melee heavy and shadow strike heavy build that I do, I drop electric slash completely and go for sixes everywhere else. But there are plenty of ways to build this character.
Mm-hmm.
Because electric slash can do heavy chunks of damage.
Let's see.
Let's see. Let me
Just want to see what this can start to look like. So yeah, lots of damage scaling or radius. Force damage to tech detonations. Whoa, by 100%? That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm saying you don't have a great way to set those off by yourself. You can get something on your sword where I think it's the last evolution of your like fitness equivalent tree that focuses on your sword. You can make it apply like a fire effect or I think an electrical effect or maybe an ice effect. One of them is fire effect, I know, because that's the one I take. But
I mean, it just looks like if you wanted to go all out damage, you could get absolutely absurd numbers.
yeah, for sure. So I would say just like, do you want to go? Because you could. So like, do you want to go deep on melee, or do you want to like? Because you could play this character for more range too, and just like electric slash people through the walls, and then just play as a pretty normal sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could go super deep on the melee and use shadow strike a lot. You can kind of. There are a lot of different ways you can go about it.
That's
I would
a
say
tough question.
I would say whatever sounds cool, honestly. Which honestly, all of it sounds.
That's
cool,
the problem.
But...
It all sounds really awesome. I want to do both. So the time when I saw someone else, I believe, using this build, they were using the electric slash to from like halfway across the map just send huge electrical swordy shock waves and making people go flying all over the place, which is pretty sweet. But at the same time, like dashing behind people and going also is pretty cool.
Yeah. If you would like to do the latter, then I can hook you up with my build.
Uh-huh. I mean, I have been playing a lot of melee builds recently, at least what with the Krogan Warlord, and we were recently checking out the Batarian One Punch Man. So part of me feels like, well, you know, let's maybe not go all out on just melee characters, but at the same time, you know, like, well, I mean, I can still mix and mingle them in here and there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is a very different kind of melee character.
Uh-huh. I think maybe, as cool as Electric Slash sounds, you're right in that it does seem like it's, at least thematically, quite similar to a Shockwave. And so, if you're looking for that type of feel for a character, then maybe it's not so unique. You can just play Shockwave-based biotic-y character. And,
Yeah. I mean, like, kind of the thing is that Shockwave on its own usually isn't a good enough power for you to kind of go in on, unless, like, Logan Shaman is a good example, because Shockwave is the only detonator that you have for the warp.
mhm.
But on most characters that have Shockwave, you're not necessarily going to be, like, using it as heavily, whereas, like, you can make Electric Slash do big damage, and also Electric Slash hits through the walls, which is very good.
Mhm.
And I think it has overall just, like, you can give it a lot better range. I think just at base it has way better range, and you can kind of kit it out to do a lot more damage. So it's just like, yes, it's similar to Shockwave, but like other characters that have Shockwave can't exactly go deep on Shockwave for the most part. Whereas N7 Shadow, you can go deep on Electric Slash.
So it's kind of like, it's similar to Shockwave, except it's just better in many different ways. So it kind of outperforms Shockwave. One sec. Are there other characters that have similar abilities? Is there another sword-wielding person, like the N7 Slayer? Is that a sword person?
The N7 Slayer does also have a sword, yes.
Okay. But they have totally different abilities by the looks of things. I was going to say, if
Yeah,
the other sword
Biotic
person
Slash
does one thing, then maybe I prioritize the other thing here with the N7 Slayer, or Shadow, rather.
Yeah, Slayer and Shadow are ultimately pretty similar because Biotic Slash and Electric Slash are basically just the same power.
Okay.
But with, one of them is Biotic and one of them is Electrical, obviously. Yeah, my build for the N7 Slayer Vanguard is also weird because I go deep on Phase Disruptor. Phase Disruptor is basically, it's a power that doesn't have a cooldown, but it's kind of like, it's almost like a ranged Nova, except it doesn't use all of your barrier, it just uses part of it. And you basically just shoot a blast of energy out of your hand. So I go super deep on that, so I take, again, I drew out Biotic Slash on that one, but I take Biotic Charge to give me all of my barriers back, and then I take like upgrades on Phase Disruptor that make it do a ton more damage and make it consume less barriers, and then just go pop, pop, pop,
That
pop,
sounds
pop,
cool
charge,
too.
get it all back. Yeah, so that's the way I will run Slayer, but you can also run Slayer as a much more melee-oriented build. You can run it with more Biotic Slash.
Yeah. So I don't have Slayer. I don't have Slayer, but I was going to say maybe I go with more the Shadow Strike on the Shadow, because it seems like maybe the Slayer doesn't really have an equivalent version of that, whereas, if it's the Electric Slash that is interesting, then you can kind of just go with Biotic Slash instead from the Slayer, and you're kind of getting the same general idea. But in that case, you're, for the Slayer, missing out on Phase Disruptor plus Biotic Charge, the combo that you were just talking about. Also does sound cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with both of these characters, there's quite a few ways to build them. The N7 Slayer, the melee build is actually kind of especially good. I mean, honestly, the melee build is especially good on both of these characters just because they have good melee animations, but that is especially true on the Slayer because your normal light melee actually makes you just kind of blink in place kind of a little bit, and it makes you actually like resist a lot of damage, I think. Which can be pretty good, and then your heavy melee is pretty similar to the one that you're going to get on the Shadow, because your heavy melee can also teleport you behind people and slash them, just not from as much of a distance as Shadow Strike. Shadow Strike can go across the map.
This is so tough. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with the Shadow Strike on the Infiltrator. But
okay.
You know,
do you think you're gonna drop Electric Slash, or like take the lead ranks of it to just have it around?
Let's see. Because if I do drop it altogether, then I can go all the way down on these guys. Weapon damage, I'm thinking weapons probably not really the idea with this character. Mostly
Okay,
powers,
if
right?
you if you want to go deep on power damage, that's like a build that makes a lot of sense. If you want to go deep on power damage, drop the 6th evolution weapon damage, and then just use that to take your 3 points into electric slash. That makes some sense.
Yeah. Okay. I do like that. I do like that. Okay. Maybe we go that route. Okay. And how, I mean, so Tactical Cloak, can you go Tactical Cloak into something like Shadow Strike and then increase the damage on that? Does that combo work?
Yes, you can. And actually,
Okay.
if you take if you take Tactical Cloak all the way to 6 and actually take bonus power for the first time, you can do it twice.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That sounds cool. That does sound cool. Because, yeah, I don't think this is really going to be a build that I'm focusing too much on the weapons with. That seems like that could be an interesting opportunity to make that happen.
Yeah. Alonso,
He's back.
Lids is going for the N7 Shadow. I think I'm gonna mess around with the Trillion Havoc because my soldier is not really leveled up, and I want to mess around with the melee build for this thing.
Let's see. Oh, Alonso, we still haven't added each other on Origin, have we? So let me just... Should we go, the usual Condor Collector Platinum and get you in that way? Yeah, I'm definitely going to use the... And now I'm getting the Shadow and Slayer mixed up, but whichever one the Infiltrator is, I'm definitely going to go that, but I'm going to take a little bit of time to make that character, build it, because I've not yet deployed it.
Actually, I might have changed my mind on what I'm gonna play.
No worries.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the Quillian Marksman Soldier, just because this works more reliably with fewer skill points, whereas Trillion Havoc, there's kind of a lot of stuff that you want, so I might want to wait until I'm back up at 20 to do my Trillion Havoc.
Okay. Okay. And Alonso, I am now public. Okay, there we go, we gotcha. Let's make this back to private, at least while we're deploying characters and what have you. But chat, we probably do have one more spot available to us right now, so if anyone does want to hop in, let us know, we can get you in. Otherwise, we'll just make it public once we're good to go and all set up. So I'm going to go Tactical Cloak here, and like we were saying, I'm actually going to take the additional bonus power, because I think that could be pretty sweet. And is this a build on which you might actually want the duration on the cloak rather than the... I mean, the damage is also great, but you're chaining together numerous of them, then you might need the additional duration.
Yeah, for the Mimi Shadow Strike build, I do personally go for the damage, but I know that plenty of people go for the duration for the same kind of build. Just because it gives you a little more flexibility. You can still technically fit 2 into 1 cloak if you take the damage bonus instead, but I'm not gonna lie, it is a little tough to do so. You do have limited time.
Yeah.
So the duration is quite nice. Like, I might, if I had the chance to respec this character, I might actually go and take duration instead, just to at least see kind of how it plays.
Yeah.
I have limited time to work with to get both my Shadow Strikes off.
I think I would. Obviously, if you can pull it off, the damage is better, but I just feel like that's tricky. It would probably just play much more smoothly. It'd be much less stressful if you go with the duration, then you're like, okay, no worries, got the first one off. Let me find the right target for the next round, and you have some time to check out who you actually want to do the move on.
Yeah.
That might mean recharge speed not terribly necessary, and you can go with the melee damage while cloaked instead, because does Shadow Strike count as melee? It may not.
Shadow Strike is melee, yeah.
It does. Oh.
Yep.
So, yeah. 50% additional damage is basically making up for the 40% damage you passed on here. Yeah, that seems like a decent exchange.
Yeah. I'm safe. The melee damage is extremely important for if you're going for the Shadow Strike build. Alonso, I think we're probably going to be on silver since we're still kind of messing around with the new stuff.
Yeah, probably. And definitely bonus power. It's an electric slash. We're saying probably just 3 on this, but I think I'm going to wait on that just to make sure there aren't other things that I'm going to want to take instead. But okay, so then we have the Shadow Strike, and this is going to be the focus. So Cloak can sneak behind your targets to unleash a vicious sword attack. Bonus damage from sword upgrades and is considered melee attack. Okay, gotcha. So it starts out with 600 damage. Recharge speed, yeah. So like if we had gone the recharge or the damage route with the cloak, then this does technically recharge more quickly than the cloak. So yeah, it's possible, but it would be probably difficult to pull that one off, or at least the duration. The recharge speed is quicker than the duration of the cloak. Yes, absolutely. More damage or reduce all damage taken by 40% for 5 seconds after decloaking. So does this only count the cloak that comes from Shadow Strike, or does that actually carry over into the tactical cloak? Or the yeah.
Sorry, which one are you talking about?
So I'm looking at rank 4, the bottom, reducing all damage taken by 40% for 5 seconds after decloaking. Does that also include when you decloak from tactical cloak? In which case, does that get some double dipping?
No.
Probably not.
No, but... yeah, I think that's just for the Shadow Strike.
Yeah, and especially, yeah, I think probably take the damage here. And hit your opponent with an electrical attack. Does 40% additional damage or recharge speed.
I would say go for the damage just because of the way that it works with Tactical Cloak. You're actually going to be getting your Tactical Cloak cooldown instead of your Shadow Strike cooldown most of the time. So the recharge speed on Shadow Strike doesn't matter quite as much.
Okay, gotcha.
Because basically you Tactical Cloak, get one Shadow Strike for free, do your second Shadow Strike, and then that breaks your Tactical Cloak, and that's when the cooldown of your Tactical Cloak triggers, is when the cloak is broken.
Okay.
So yeah, with the additional damage there. On the last one, I go for the Shield Drain for the survivability. I would not blame you for going for the big boy damage, because it is a lot of damage.
1,200 is a lot. That is a lot. That's not even including the damage buff you're getting from the cloak.
Yeah, and you're going to be getting a ton more from your melee damage buffs as well. Like a ton more. Because mine, I have mine on Shield Drain, and mine at rank 6 is still doing 1320 already. So I can only imagine how much that would be doing with the extra 50% damage. Yeah, I think I go for the Shield Drain to keep my survivability up, because this works the same way as Energy Drain, where you can drain shields or barriers, or if you're against synthetic enemies like Geth, it'll work against them no matter what. And it does give you the extra move speed after you Shadow Strike, which can actually be helpful. You need to get into and out of dodge a lot with this character.
Yeah. My thing I'm thinking about with this is just, after taking the ability to use the Shadow Strike once while cloaked and still remain cloaked, I wonder if that means it won't be quite as necessary to focus on the defenses, because at least after that first Shadow Strike, I should still be cloaked and be able to, run away a little bit, make sure, I'm not getting blasted from close range. And so the only time when the time when I'm going to be most vulnerable, and should be, I would hope, a relatively small amount of time, is just after the second Shadow Strike, breaking the cloak and waiting before I can cloak again.
Yeah, I mean, some enemies will, after the first Shadow Strike, some enemies still will notice you.
Yeah, so it's definitely not a foolproof plan.
Yeah, so I haven't played this character much on Gold, but on Silver, for sure, Cloak and Shadow Strike, even with Shield Drain and without the extra damage, that's gonna kill, of course, any just normal unshielded enemy, but also shielded enemies. It'll get through in one hit. Potentially even tankier shielded enemies like F-Pyros.
Wow.
Yeah. You're gonna be doing pretty hefty chunks of damage already, especially with all the melee damage buffs you're gonna be getting.
And you said this is with the Shield Drain rather than with the 50% damage? You're already going to be at that threshold?
Yeah. I don't know that you're necessarily going to be able to one-shot Geth Pyros, but any shielded enemy for the most part. is going to be dying to it in one. Um, so the extra damage would be primarily for the bosses, which
Mm-hmm.
is a little tough to make work.
Right.
I would say the shield drain, the extra movement speed, and the shields that you're getting back just to make dealing with groups of enemies and like camps and staying alive kind of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what I go for. But you could get probably pretty insane boss damage if you took the other one.
Taking down the big enemies or making it easier to chain a bunch of kills on the little guys. And I think, the problem with that is big enemies, of course, are generally the ones that have sync kills. So, and this, I would imagine, would be a character that is quite vulnerable to that, well, with it being a melee primarily character. So, maybe, the extra damage to focus on the big bad bosses is not really the best idea for that reason.
Yeah.
Sure, you may be able to get rid of half the HP on a brute or something even bigger than that, but at the end of the day, if it turns around and sinks kills you immediately, then what good does it do you?
Yeah, the big enemies can be a little tough to deal with for sure. You can most of the time you can cloak and shadow strike and get one off, and then maybe if you have another enemy that's decently far away, you can just shadow strike on that to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just run away. But a lot of the time you won't necessarily be able to line up multiple shadow strikes unless somebody is really good at diverting that enemy's attention.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, I suppose, as much as I would like to just see how high of a number I can get on the damage, I'll go with the shield drain here. Play it a little bit safer. Okay, so then N7 Shadow. This is where we start loading up on more of that melee damage.
It's mainly the bottom one that gives you the most melee damage.
Okay.
N7 Shadow is pretty similar to other training trees where you're getting power damage and weapon damage and stuff.
Yeah, and definitely not focusing on the weapons here. Power damage versus headshots. Oh, we definitely want power damage. So power damage will include... Does that also include Shadow Strike?
Yep.
So it counts as melee and power?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. That's cool. Decreased weight of weapons versus weapon damage bonus. Oh. Oh, so this was the one where you're saying maybe don't take this.
Yeah, I personally on my build I take the 10% weapon damage, but I would say it's pretty reasonable, especially after you take the 10% and 15% power damage bonuses to drop that for the electric slash if you want to use some electric slash and get used to how it feels.
Yeah, I think I'd like to at least have it to see what it's like. And sword mastery. So this is the fitness equivalent, but we may go more of an offensive route here. Let's just see. So we're starting off with 600 for life and shield. So definitely not on the tankier side. But this gives us some here. Sword damage. So again, does that include Shadow Strike there?
It does.
Sword
yeah,
damage.
And you can see if you go over to Shadow Strike, it will say receives damage bonuses from sword upgrades considered a melee attack.
Okay.
So it is a melee attack as well as a power.
Yeah. So I mean, you gotta go sword damage. Here, I think.
Yeah, I go.
Yeah, now we're at 625.
I go top bottom. So take the melee damage.
Yeah.
And then it's just deciding whether you want more to shields or shields and barriers or armor. Since we're already draining shields and killing most shielded enemies in one Shadow Strike anyway, I go for the armor.
That's a good point. That makes some sense, I think.
And this also applies a cool effect to this sword, so if you take armor, it'll be fire, and if you take shields and barriers, it'll be electric.
Ah, okay. Interesting. So now, yeah, I have enough for, should be 3 points into Electric Slash. Highly effective against shields, barriers as well, considered a power attack. We do have some power damage bonuses. Damage is still solid. Starting off with 742. It's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Even if I'm only throwing in a few points into this. And with this upgrade, gets up to 852? Yeah. I mean, it's not, like, crazy powerful, but that's up there. Alright. I like it.
And you can still, if you have a bunch of enemies that you want to deal with, you know, you can always cloak and electric slash instead. I don't know that it should still. Yeah, because this one gives you. Yep, this is a cloak that gives you a damage buff for either powers or melee or weapon attacks or whatever.
And so these
I
are
have
technically tech abilities, right? Not biotic abilities.
yeah, these are attack. Electric slash and actually, I'm not sure if Shadow Project is considered attack power. It probably is. Um, I know that it'll definitely get melee damage buffs, and I'm pretty sure that it gets generic power buffs as well. But I don't know if it's technically considered attack power.
Hmm. If so, let me
Electric
capacitor
Slash
can run over
definitely
that.
is, but
I actually do have the mental focuser, but it's only level 1. That could be good in the future. I can get that leveled up a little bit more. Could also go with Juggernaut Shield, make myself a little bit tankier, get some melee damage that way. That's not a terrible idea. Maybe I'll go that route.
yeah, that seems pretty good.
Cover for my weakness a bit. And weapons-wise, no, I don't think I'm going to be a sniper. I mean, you could, I suppose. You're going more the pure tactical cloak, but, I don't know. Something that just removes shields, like a Rieger?
I mean, we're already good at removing shields with
Yeah, we do have
Shadow
armor,
Strike.
armor damage coming from the sword as well, so yeah, I guess not really a specific thing that you need, per se, other than maybe just keeping it light. In which case, if it's going to be a shotgun, hard to vote against the Wraith.
It was good.
Wraith is good. That might just be the answer. Otherwise, I don't know, we can go something lighter still, like a pistol of some variety. Arc pistols, that's also the one that you charge up and take down the shields, right?
I don't know that it's specifically as good against shields. I don't actually have a pistol, so I don't know it really well, but I believe it does also charge up, yeah.
I think I'll keep it simple. I'll go with the Wraith. And take the melee damage, and then I might just take ultra light materials, to tell you the truth. I mean, it doesn't make a huge difference, but I don't really imagine we're going to use the weapons very often. I think cooldown is maybe just as important as anything else.
I would say probably put on either Smart Choke or High Caliber, whatever suits your fancy. Put that on first, go look at the cooldown on your Tactical Cloak, and then put ultralight materials on and see what it is both ways, see how much you're actually saving.
Okay.
Because it could be better to just get more damage out of it.
So Cloak has 3.73 cooldown without ultralight. That's still pretty darn quick. That is pretty darn quick. Then if we do throw on ultralight, it now becomes 3.54, so, you know, you're getting a tiny bit faster that way, but yeah, that may not be any sort of significant difference.
Yeah, I'd say it's up to you. It's not nothing, for sure, but...
What did I say it was before the ultralight?
3.73 down to 3.54.
I mean, it doesn't... The amount of difference it is quite small, but when it's that small, you know, you're getting close to the point where you're almost just using it directly off cooldown. So, like, any small reductions there could, you know, make it so that you're almost never not cloaked, which would be nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, the cloak cooldown will start as soon as the cloak breaks. So you will still have that time in between cloaks, no matter what.
Yeah,
it's just
there's still definitely
time.
at least a little bit of time. I don't know. I guess I'll go with the damage here. And yes, so Electric Slash is considered a tech ability, confirmed. What did I end up going with for our power here? Oh, not this. Our equipment gear bonus. I went with shield strength, melee damage, and we were saying maybe it could make some sense to go what with the operative package. Oh no, not operative. Yes, that does have tech damage, but that's not really what we were thinking.
Yeah, electric slash is definitely attack power. I was more wondering about shadow strike because I know electric slash is attack power, but shadow strike I would think maybe is just a power that isn't considered tech or biotic. I mean, it's definitely not biotic, but
Omnicapacitors, I think was what we were thinking of. Recharge speed plus tech damage.
Shadow strike. Yeah, just check the wiki. Says shadow strike is also a tech power.
Okay. This might not be a bad idea then. Going with the omnicapacitors. That little bit of recharge speed that we were saying we might get from the using the ultralight materials. Oh, we're not going to see it show up here, right? But it's there in theory. It's actually a little bit faster than 3.73.
Yeah, that's true for sure.
All right, dare I say, I think that I have now set everything up here.
Okay, I will swap back over since I don't take a look at that scroll screen. There we go. So let's do that, and I'll just get my thing set up.
And Booty Under, if you want to jump in here, we do have an open spot right now. We at the moment are in private, so we probably don't want to actually be doing Condor Collector Platinum. But you know, we can of course just go public to fill in this last spot. Otherwise, if anyone from chat or Discord wants to hop in, we can make it happen. Yeah, that's kind of the hope. So this is obviously my first time playing this character, but I'm very interested to see what we can make happen with it. Yeah, if you're expecting to be up close and personal a lot, then Juggernaut shields can be helpful. That does make sense as well. Definitely a safer approach. Probably more aggressive to be going with the omnicapacitors. So prioritizing basically the recharge time over the shields in that case. No worries, no worries. Okay, so yeah, we're on silver, so I'll go with the slightly more aggressive omnicapacitors here. And in that case, it sounds like we're looking for one more to fill in here, so I'll make us public.
So yeah, the best advice I can give for this build is just pick your targets wisely, pick your fights, because you very much have the ability to, because I mean you have cloak and you can just run all over the place and zoop across the map with shadow strike. Like you can very much say no, I just don't want to engage that enemy. You very much have the power to do that. So just if you just have a group of a couple of dudes, cloak, shadow strike, take out the shielded one. If there's second shielded one, do it to them too, and then maybe just run away. Even like if you start getting into a little bit of trouble. But yeah, you have. I would say N7 Shadow probably has more ability to pick your fights and just decide no, I don't want to fight that than any other character in the game.
Okay.
Just between cloak and the amount of mobility that you have.
Alright, so we're on Reaper. So this will be a good test, because there certainly are some enemies that are capable of sync kills. Okay. So let's see. Let's give this a look here. There we go. Whatcha! That is cool the way the animation works when you're teleporting across to Shadow Strike somebody. Oh, except that time the guy was dead. It feels a little different than, you know, the biotic charges, where it's kind of just like you slam straight into them. This feels sneakier, stealthier,
Yeah.
smoother.
Teleports behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing personnel, kid. That is the objective of this build for sure. Oh man, look, it's gonna teleport. That was overkill. And in theory, well, with the additional duration, you'd be able to spend quite a bit of time while cloaked. Well, that was overkill as well. It does seem like I'm decloaking whenever I use Shadow Strike, which I thought with the selections that I took that would not be the case.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Like when you, if you use tactical cloak boost?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say the build that I saw.
So here's a cloak. Let's
did
test it
that.
out. Cloak, Shadow Strike. And I'm done with the Shadow Strike. No, I'm still close. Okay. Yeah, I think
Okay.
maybe it's just the duration happened to be such that a couple occasions. Wow, that was sad. Duration was expiring coincidentally right when I finished it.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Might have been reading into it too much. Shah! And the cooldown is very fast. Wow.
Yeah, and I believe that's another good tip with tactical cloak. I believe if I'm remembering correctly, the cooldown on tactical cloak might be. I don't play infiltrators all that much, but I think the cooldown on tactical cloak might be proportional to how long you had it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kind of like a flamer?
Yeah, I think it might be. I don't think it scales as strongly as Flamer does, but I'm really not sure about that. I haven't even actually experiment with it.
Enemies down. Good shooting.
All clear.
Enemy is still active. Stay alert. Here they come.
Roger.
You can also do it through walls if there's a window. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Do it from, like, all the way up here. We sure can. What's up, Alonzo? How's it going over here? Okay, let's test it against the brute if we can. If the brute doesn't immediately die, which it does.
Ooh, there's another weird up here in the circle. Ooh, and a couple more over this too.
I probably am going to be running out of duration on the cloak. Second, please. Is there a brute here? There is. Please. Get him. Well, got an assist. Can't really tell how much damage that was. In that case.
Some good work down there. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload. Enemies inbound.
Okay, let's go cause some trouble. That is pretty cool when you can just chain them together like that. I got him. Oh, got a Banshee? Alright, so here's the test. This is a bad idea, but we're gonna try it. Not sure how that happened exactly. I really seemed like I was going to attack the Banshee with the Shadow Strike, and then my character just decided, you know what, maybe not. Kinda just looked like the animation stopped for reasons unknown to me. Also, my sword isn't quite literally on fire. It's not just that it causes fire damage, I am running around with a flaming sword, which I did not realize was going to be the case. That is epic.
Enemy scramblers to disrupt your long-range communication.
That is sick.
Get back and find that device.
Okay, I should be able to get it here.
Eh,
Oh, except I can't. Okay, I do want to cloak? I can. Huh.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can't initiate the cloak. I'm about to die, though.
Yeah, and you can't carry boxes and stuff off cloak.
Yeah.
You can do you can defuse stuff off cloak.
Ooh, that's embarrassing. A swarmer killed me while I was cloaked. That's sad.
Scan that mood.
Nothing personnel, kid.
Oh, that will Ravager is being obtained.
It is no more. Except I am also no more.
And shut 'em down. As the devices are down, stay on it.
Let me scan that. There we go.
Now we got some friends up here.
I have gotten my 20 headshots.
Nice.
Target
Ah, darn.
squad member in trouble.
Like I'm gonna be going for the melee kills. I don't know what number I'm on.
Hold on.
Ooh, thank you. I'll get him. I got him. Okay, want me to get this? I can cloak.
Yeah, I'll keep killing this. Ravager over here. There we go.
I can almost cloak for the duration of the objective, which is pretty sweet.
Okay, I might be going down over here. There's a bunch of cannibals. Okay,
well,
no,
I
I
missed
think
this
it's good. Okay, I definitely need to get some ammo. That's for sure.
No, you are already dead. Who is left? Anybody? There you are. I see you. Aw, man!
Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
Got him while I was in the middle of my attack. Yeah, we got some Banshees. I have yet to see what the damage is against the Banshee. So I know it's a bad idea, but I'm gonna try this.
I mean, the damage either way shouldn't be too bad because you can drain
Got rid of all the
phase,
shields.
or you can the fire bit will be especially good against the armor.
Yeah, it
So-
seemed like it's basically enough to completely remove shields, but no damage above and beyond that. Also out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Like, yeah, Hunter just said in chat. Good advice.
Acid will get you.
Watch that. Yeah, watch out for that acid. Shadows for like we'll put you right on top of that.
It is. Damage, yeah. Definitely not enough to take it out
Squad member in trouble.
single-handedly, which, I mean, that would be pretty insane if it was. Okay, so maybe don't go for the kills on the Ravagers. Maybe go for the Marauders instead.
So I'll try to pop them as much as I can. I unfortunately can't get headshot damage on them, but I can just activate a tactical scan and marksman and start dumping bullets into it.
I mean, I might be able to one-shot them, but I am probably going to get hurt significantly in the process.
Yeah.
So,
There's a bullet and a
Might
couple
be
of
able to-
Ravagers over here on the right side.
alright, moving in. I believe it's down.
Yep.
Nope. So much for that.
You can scan that move.
Savage, or Ravage, and Swarmers. There we go.
Okay, we got this bed.
There we go.
I'm gonna go through that too.
You guys.
That to blew it up in the tower. There we go. It's dead.
Okay, I'm gonna do
That's
this
another
one.
one up in the tower.
Well, actually, ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so I can change the angle mid-charge up time of the electric slash. It's good to know if you're trying to attack someone and then change direction, or trying to just look somewhere else, then you're gonna end up missing. That's what happened the first time. But now I know. I think I hear a brute somewhere. Thought I heard a brute somewhere.
I think I hit it too. Oh, sounds like it's down there. I'm gonna say I also used cryo explosions, so I don't think it is long for this world.
Bogeys incoming.
Goodbye, Marauder. Oh, I should eat folks that time. I can't say I've done that too often. Okay, so this is a bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway. It's almost enough to take out a Banshee by itself if the shields are already down.
Might get the scan on this. Hopefully it in close, please. There we go. Yeah, but it is down. Oh, do not thank me, please.
One moment, please. You got a Swarmer directly on top of you, though? And that. The source of the Swarmers?
Hold on, I'm gonna. Ooh, that's
Shadow may be more like support against bosses. I mean, you certainly bring the damage. It's just, you're so vulnerable. So I'm gonna do it. Well, I think I'll probably just go that route.
Some good work down there. Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping.
So, like, if you're sort of late to the party against big enemies, you can probably finish them off fairly easily.
Communications.
But being the first person to initiate, probably a bit of a problem. Like, a couple of Banshees here, I don't really have a good answer for them.
Scan one of them.
Device enabled.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna move in for this one, right past that Banshee, and right past all you guys. Smell you later. Oh, never mind. Person's got it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to keep kiting these banshees over here to
Ow.
keep them off the objective.
Half are up. Keep going.
Nab this one. On the other side? Okay. There are Banshees nearby. I'm gonna try getting this one. Okay, this one's up.
Okay. I've
Last
just been dealing with
one.
this banshee over here.
Okay.
Ooh, that's what I would do. I'm just gonna grab it and around it.
Okay, I should be able to get this one.
That's good.
Yeah, it is basically cloak blasting the entire duration of the objective if I do it. If I do it right as I'm initiating it. Uh-oh. Oh, that's already dead. I'm trying to shadow strike an enemy that is already in its dying animation. That's probably why that didn't work. Is it invisible?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It is invisible
Good
right
thing
now.
Good thing I have tactical scan.
I was gonna say, thankfully we can actually see it that way, but otherwise that was gonna prove pretty difficult.
Rendezvous at LZ.
Oh, we got that back from this map.
I've not really been doing much of the dodging.
Oh,
That's what, same as Alliance Infiltration Unit, I think?
I'm not sure because I don't have a Lance Infiltration unit, so. Get these things off me.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Yeah, this is not a great place to be hanging out right now. I'm gonna retreat real quick. But you're not dead? Excuse me.
Team member has gone dark. Help is on the way.
Okay, there's some good update in the tower. Scan it, start getting some damage done.
Yeah, oh, I'm gonna get stomped. I gotta revive here.
It is dead now. Okay.
Really, bro? Ow.
Hold on. I'm gonna. Okay.
That's in the damage against slightly stronger enemies. Oh, thank you. Not enough to just totally manhandle the Marauders. It's good to know. Try for it on you. We're gonna go for it.
Ooh,
Is it a bad idea? Yes. What we got?
Okay, that's a husk on me. I'm gonna get out of here.
We got some serious action over here, down below by
Okay.
Alonzo.
I'm heading over to the LZ, so I'm
Yeah, I'm thinking we should probably do that.
Keep stuff off of there. Nab my ammo.
It's just
I
proceed
just
to hide.
scanned a husk on accident. Let's scan the Banshee instead, please.
We're here all day. Team secure.
Nice.
They use their Nova. You can attack them without being punished as long as they're engaging someone else as well. Huh. This is the
Yeah,
Banshees, I
that's true.
assume.
If they do the, if they do the like blast thing, then yeah, they can't sink you in the middle of that.
Basically, if they aren't glowing, yeah, whenever they're not glowing, they can't sync kill, right? Or in other words, they need to be glowing to sync kill you. I think.
I think it's if they're not glowing. I think it was like Hunter said. If they're not glowing, if they've used the Nova to get rid of their like shield thing, and then also someone else is attacking them. It sounds like that specifically isn't something that I've heard before, just because I don't melee Banshee as much. But
Well, why not? Come on, Dusk. They're not glowing. Their Nova is on cooldown. So can they sync kill in that situation, or are they unable to sync kill in that situation? In the meantime, I'm going to open up pack here. Let me just double check how I'm doing from a resources standpoint, because I might be starting to run kind of low on the metagels. Sorta. But I should be able to still go with Spectre pack here. Of the premium variety, of course. But we only open premium Spectre packs here, you see. Don't think they can. Uh-oh. I'm also potentially stuck in a loading screen here. The world may never know what is in this pack. Here we go. Pistol, ultralight materials, Krogan soldier, assault loadout. Don't think I like it very much. That pack, at least. They can sync kill whenever? Okay. Except, at least according to consensus, Apparently, they cannot sync kill you when you are on a sloped surface, like ramps. That has happened to me once, though. I have been sync killed at least once in that situation, but
they have trouble doing it at the very least. It might just be that you, like, we're technically on the same elevation, but they have a ton of trouble doing it if you're not on the same elevation. So, like, if you're on stairs and you're right next to them, like, on,
they may still be able
like,
to, yeah.
horizontally speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're, as long as you're on a slightly different elevation from them, you should be fine.
Yeah. So there have been some times when you said, I don't make a habit of meleeing banshees. I was going to say, you know, I have actually several times found myself on a sloped surface next to a banshee and proceeding to just punch it.
Yeah, I'd say there are times when you can make it work for it.
So chat, let us know if you want us to do any different setup here. Otherwise, I mean, I'm happy to try a little bit more with this character. It's fun. It feels like I'm dealing tons of damage. It's a little hard, it seems, to get a ton of kills, just because, you know, for the most part, Shadow Strike is getting one opponent at a time. Whereas maybe the Electrical Slash is more so, well, you get a large AoE, so technically, you know, that's, if you're trying to rack up the points, that might be more so the go-to strat. Yeah, the mobility is pretty insane, though. And I think, you know, once you get a hang of that, and you get a sense as to when and where you want to be moving around in a given map, then that could be pretty crazy, just flying all over the place. And being cloaked for much of the time as well. Yeah, exactly. On Silver, when, you know, it's not too crazy what you're going up against, seems like it's a nice class to just kind of mess around with. On Gold and higher, I don't know, I wouldn't trust myself with it, I don't think, but maybe someone more skilled than I could make it work. Ooh, it can kill cloaked enemies as well. Interesting. Cloak versus cloak.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's kind of the same as like biotic charging Geth Hunters, where you can just poke them with your gun a little bit just so the targeting window pops up, and then do it to them. Like Shadow Strike pretty much works the same way. Although I think, because you can also biotic charge enemies that are completely cloaked, even without touching them at all. It's just a little wonky and unreliable.
Yeah.
And I think Shadow Strike is basically the same way, where it can, it's just a little bit wonky. But yeah, if you do just tag them a little bit just so that the targeting box shows up, you can definitely Shadow Strike cloaked stuff.
Yeah, so
without,
it can
like,
work.
pretty much any trouble.
Yeah, and it can work on Gold. You just need to be mindful picking your fights, and that's kind of like what Dusk was saying earlier, how perhaps more so than with any other character, with the Shadow, you can sort of pick and choose when and where you want to be messing with people and when you want to be running away. But anyways, not seeing any requests from chat here, in which case I'm down for just doing the same thing here.
Yeah, I think I'm good sticking
All
with this on me. I got some of my passive weapon damage buffs, got my passive headshot damage buff, feeling good.
Nice. Yeah, so you just leveled up a few times there?
Yeah.
Which class is this? Is this Infiltrator?
It's the Quillian Marksman Soldier. It has,
Soldier. Okay.
It has Marksman, of course, just like the Turian Soldier does.
Uh-huh.
And then it has a Tactical Scan, so you can stack up the big damage. So you get basically all the... I mean, you don't get quite as much pure headshot damage as you do on Turian Soldier, because Turian Soldier gives you not only marksman, but also better passive, like, headshot and weapon damage bonuses because you're a Turian. But you do here also get Tactical Scan, which is a huge damage debuff.
We are, by the way, on Microwave Arena. You know what that means. You know what that means. Gotta do it at some point.
Yeah. On this one, I think we're much more well-suited to doing it, because you can go all over the place and you have really good, like, map accessibility, and I am keeping enemies at a distance for the most part, whereas when we were all Kurogans, we hardly really had a reason to use it.
Uh-huh.
It was always just up in their face, and they weren't really moving anyway.
I can try to chase as many people as possible into it and then teleport my way out. And then have you guys press the button and be like, haha, tricked you.
Yeah.
No thank you. Nothing personnel, kid. I think I'm going to be saying that a lot with this build.
Oops. That was people got on top of me.
Okay. Oh, well, whatever it was, it's dead.
Enemy is regrouping. They have records on Reaper indoctrination.
Okay, well, we maybe don't want to turn the microwave on right now.
Oh, why not? I don't see a problem. Oh, I forgot. I do have some range. I don't need to use this per se, although now that I'm bead, I may have to. I can go average.
Oh, so yeah, that's going to be really useful for the on-objective waves. Ooh, there's a grenade on top of me. Back up. There you go. Oh.
There's someone still over there. Okay, we got it. Noise.
I like this bed. It's nice.
Same. Takes some getting used to, but I think I can imagine how, with some practice, you could just do absolutely ridiculous stuff with this character.
Yeah, for sure.
Please proceed to you know, like do this. Okay, really doesn't want to. There we go.
Ooh,
I wonder.
Okay, I made it.
It felt like maybe the thing we were just talking about, where you can't sync kill when enemies are on uneven surfaces. Felt like that was happening to me just then. I was just like trying to shadow strike that Scion that entire time, and it did not want me to do that.
Yeah, I think Shadow Strike might also be a little finicky on elevation because it really wants you to be on even footing with an enemy for the animation to work.
Sweet. Well done. Enemy is still active. Stay alert. Here they come.
Oh, hello. Of all the ideas out there, this was not the best one. Yeah, let me see if I can help you a bit here.
There you go.
March, team. Enemy forces down to half strength.
What's up, Kippy? How's it going? How are you?
A classified device has been lost.
How are you?
Locate the object and bring it back.
Yeah.
Probably.
Uh,
Got it.
Okay.
Standing. Get back to the evac zone.
I mean, we were talking about when I was making this character, how I did not focus on the electric slash very much. I just have, I think it's 3 points in it. So that's definitely something that I could have done differently. I focus much more on the Shadow Strike. This is not the best of ideas either. Okay, please don't turn the microwave on me.
Okay, I am getting slightly closer to the actual thing now. I had some dudes I had to deal with.
Okay. I got you.
There we go. We are chugging along as fast as we can.
No worries. You got a clean pathway. Nice.
We are confirmed. We have an opportunity to snag some lost Reaper technology.
Oh, I thought that was our last one.
Find it at your top.
No, it was a super long one. It was all the way across the map.
Alright, want me to get this one? I don't know the...
You might
glitch?
have a little bit of a tough time targeting them. I'm not gonna lie, just because I mean you can't cloak and you can't shadow strike and any
Yeah.
of that stuff.
I'm pretty
so if you
squishy.
wanna,
But I can drop this if you want.
yeah, if you wanna drop and let me pick it up, because I can do all my stuff while cloaked. Not while cloaked, but while coding.
Oh, so much for that.
I can still click heads. I can still activate marksman. I can still tack scan. I can do all my stuff.
We need the object at the extraction zone. Get moving.
Not dead?
Squad member in trouble.
Hold on, I've just about got
I'm
this
gonna get
thing
stumped
in.
though. Gotta go up.
Okay, I'm gonna start getting over there.
I think one thing I might want to start doing more of is rather than every time trying to do the combo of Shadow Strike plus or Tactical Cloak plus Shadow Strike, you may just want to go straight into Shadow Strike. You know, don't really need the additional damage against basic enemies, especially on silver.
Well, I mean, I think the tactical cloak cooldown isn't.
Yeah,
I mean, it
guess
shouldn't be much longer than
Yeah.
your shadow strike cooldown, and since
You're
you've
probably right.
got that, yeah, since you've got that bonus power upgrade, it means you can effectively get 2 shadow strikes out of it. So it might just be better to cloak basically every time.
Oh, you are dead.
Scam that.
Oh, thanks. Now this Praetorian though, kind of a different story.
There we go.
Okay, that guy's down. Launch us back up. Cool. We do have a Praetorian here. Heads up.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get the
Got its attention. I'll bring it through here.
Come on. Oops. There we go. Okay, it's dead.
Enemy is regrouping. Enemies approaching.
Yeah, you can potentially weaken some things first. Poke them behind cover and then finish them off with the Shadow Strike. That could work too. In this case,
Just
guy's
throw
got
this
the-
guy onto the wall.
just, you know, casually get that guy. Let's bring Alonzo back real quick. Hold on. This guy's going to make things a little bit more
Yeah, I know.
difficult. Ow.
Team member is hurt.
Speaking of Scions, that's actually Collector Captain, technically speaking. already dead.
These seeker swarms are all over me.
Oh, that's the other thing, is I keep on just getting a little late to the party with the, oh, you're not dead. With the Shadow Strikes.
Oh yeah, you do kind of have to anticipate it a little bit, because the animation takes a while.
Oh, that is still right on top of me. Where is this Scion that I absolutely hear?
Hey, there it is.
Enemy is regrouping. Enemies inbound.
Yeah, and Electric Strike, you know, I only took a few points in it, so don't really want to rely on it too much, but at the same time, even with that, it seems like it was decent damage. For things like, kind of like this. Oh, hold up. Oh no, he's got...
Hold on. Got the scan.
Might be that big thing.
No, I think we can kill it. Yep. Ooh. Oh, there's pretty floating up there on me. Ooh.
Ooh, I'm going down.
Let's get out of there.
Thank you. Where is this Praetorian in question?
There it is.
I still don't see it. Ah, here we go.
Yeah.
You
I
got
scanned
scanned.
it.
Yep, there we go. I'm just a little too far away.
There we go.
Enemy is still active.
The scan did legitimately allow me to see it from like halfway across the arena.
Yep.
Like, okay, there we go.
They've got one of our drones. We need its contents uploaded before the enemy cracks its encryption.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff.
Nice. Keep close or the drone will go dark.
Oh,
I just got, like, yeah, got by basically, like, warped by a Scion and duped at the exact same time.
oh, this is not good. This is like
Yeah.
very not good.
I'm gonna at least take care of this possessed spiritual that is literally standing on top of the balloon. We might be able to navigate away from these ones, okay. And that Scion's almost dead. There it is.
Ow.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, I've got one of you, and now I go down.
Okay. Well, that's fine. As long
That sounds
as
like
we
a
can all
Praetorian directly
keep
behind me.
getting,
I should probably
as
not be
long
going
as-
here.
we can all keep getting one res, we'll be okay.
Reactor? Question mark?
Yeah, we can.
Ow. Go on without me!
Hey, he still hit the button.
Is he in it? Oh, he's not in there.
No, it was. It took
Took a
it
good
took
chunk.
the damage. It's
Okay.
just that doesn't actually kill.
Yeah, that's an automatic kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
On bronze, I think it will actually just auto kill anything, but on silver it starts just doing big chunks of damage instead.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Let's just get rid of that guy real quick.
Alright. This is a bad idea. On several levels. So, you know, casually Shadow Strike into 2 Praetorians. Not sure I have the range to do this, but we're gonna try.
Let's go get
Man.
ammo.
There we go.
Well done, team.
Nice.
Enemy is still active. Stay alert. Get to the extraction zone.
Yeah, we got some friends over here, alright. Not really sure I want to Shadow Strike into that. That seems like a bad place to potentially go down.
Okay, well, as long as they spawn there, we should be able to chill on the other side of the map and fight them a bit.
Well, yeah. Who's this back here? Lonzo is, taking the brunt of the force, but yeah. Might be best to chill back on this side. Ah, too slow!
Oh, also, fun fact, your, I don't know if your Shadow Strike animation does this, but I know your Heavy Melee animation does. It will actually cut the heads off of, abominations.
Oh!
So that you won't, yeah, you won't take the damage from them. So, Heavy Melee, good against abominations. I don't think Shadow Strike does the same thing, but it might.
There we go. Well, we're gonna find out.
Ooh, that's, literally on top of me.
No, they definitely still explode on Counter-Strike.
Okay, well, yeah, Heavy Melee on that. Honestly, I couldn't remember if Shadow Strike did it. I knew Heavy Melee did. I'm gonna get to the LZ that is Praetorian following me over on the deck.
Okay, yep, I can see it. There we go. Oh, I almost Shadow Strike that Abomination at the end by accident. Fortunately, I only cloaked. Alright. Cool stuff. So, chat, let us know if there's anything you want to see for the next one, and we'll make it happen. We've generally been just experimenting with a bunch of new/underused characters, at least for us.
Hey, I got an alert pistol finally.
Nice. And of course, if you guys don't have anything in mind, then we'll go with something that feels interesting, fun. Oh, look at this. Okay, we do have some requests here. We're going to Reapers. Okay. 1 second. Only pistols. Well, Dusk. Good timing, perhaps.
It might be time.
Okay, hold on. We're choosing characters as well. So pistols, Reapers, Engineers. Engineers.
Gotcha.
Okay. What do we want then? I still have not done a Turian Saboteur, or as some might call it, a Servitor. Although, I mean, I was kind of eyeing the Vorcha Hunter before just for the... Oh, it's Incinerate, though, not Flamer. Okay. So, no, that's definitely different from the other Vorcha that I've used in the past. Oh, hold on. Turian Engineer because of the Sentry turret, you're saying. Alright, let's give it a shot. So this is my first time using this character. Let's see.
What's they doing on the Geth Engineer then? The Geth Engineer was the one I was using the plasma shotgun on.
What should the name of this guy be? Sentry turret. Huh. I don't know. What is... So, is the Sentry turret sort of the distinguishing feature of the Turian Saboteur? Is that the most important part of him?
The weird thing is the Turian Saboteur kind of doesn't have one. Because
Oh,
Sentry Turret, it's definitely, I would say it's the most unique ability that the class has, because not many other classes have a Sentry Turret, but there are a few other ones that do. Whereas the other Armature Legion ones have like kind of like Havoc has Havoc Strike, and the other ones have like Stimulant Back and stuff. Um,
all right. It's not the most
whereas,
creative, but it's turret time.
yeah, the turret is dope though. I mean, the turret is like it's definitely a much more viable like pet build than combat dragon is, and combat
Okay.
dragon isn't even that bad, but sentry turret can definitely pack more damage.
Okay, so deploy this heavy weapon turret for cover fire. It, okay, so it does have a life pool. It can get destroyed. It has 1,000 shield to start off with. Turret damage 75 sounds very lackluster, unless this is like 75 and this thing is like shooting an assault rifle style weapon and every one of those projectiles is dealing 75, in which case that sounds like a lot.
I believe that is the case. Yeah,
Okay.
I know it definitely it shoots. I think it shoots in little like 3 round bursts or something. Um, I'm not super experienced with using it because actually I have. Do I even have a character that has sentry to it? I mean, just I know I've got ones that have gaps with it, but
Hmm. Okay, so I'm assuming you go all out on sentry turret. That's probably going to 6. Shields and damage or shock. Upgrade turret with shock attack to stun enemies. Does that set up or potentially detonate any combos?
I don't think so. But I honestly don't really have any idea. I don't have that much experience
Huh.
with it.
I mean, I would still think even if it is a detonator, probably wouldn't be the very good way to do that detonation because
Yeah, I wouldn't think that it would be a detonator if anything. If anything, it might set up, but I don't think it does. But I'm really not sure.
if not that, then it's just pure damage and shields. Like 40% is a lot. What other options do we have here? Upgrade turret with cryo ammo, giving it a chance to freeze enemies. That's got to be a primer for cryo explosions, right? Armor piercing ammo.
Yeah. If it if it says it'll actually freeze enemies, then yeah, that will prime for cryo explosions. Um,
And then
yeah.
alternatively, armor piercing ammo, 100% damage against armor though. Ugh. You prime the cryo, or do you do a ton of damage against armor? Let's see. Range
Well,
rockets.
what you can do with the final rank is you can give your turret a
Flamethrower.
flamethrower, which
Yeah.
actually does a ton of damage if you actually like spec it out. And I believe flamethrower does actually work like a flamer and set up fire explosions.
Okay.
So
That
what you could
sounds
be,
good.
yeah,
I think you go then
and
damage against armor, and then flamer. And that seems like that could be a pretty sweet combo.
yeah, and I'm not sure if you actually have anything that can detonate those fire explosions on your own. Because
Hmm.
sabotage, I don't believe is a detonator with the backfire function that does the chunk of damage. I don't think that's a detonator. And homing grenade, I don't think is either. So I don't think you can set them off on your own.
Hmm.
But I know that flamethrower is popular with turret builds, but um, yeah, the cryo ammo sounds good, and rank 5 it seems.
You could slow people with the freezing ammo.
Yeah, both of them
What
seem
Alonzo's
pretty good,
saying.
honestly, for rank 5. You could if you wanted to like hyper specialize against big enemies, you could just take the armor piercing ammo and the flamethrower and just make it melt armored stuff.
Uh huh.
But the cryo ammo does also seem pretty good.
That might mean that if you're basically slow, it seems counterintuitive. If you're both slowing people and also flamethrowing them, I guess the flamethrower is mostly like close range, but if you're slowing people down, that gives you more time to then follow up and flame them and really start racking up that flamethrower damage.
Yeah, and maybe if you go cryo, you go rockets instead. I don't really have I don't know much about the rockets evolution of Sentry Turret. I know that I've just seen people take flamethrower a lot because you can just chuck the turret on top of people
Uh
and just have the flamethrower go nuts. But It's possible that if you go cryo, you actually keep it next to yourself more often and use it at long range with the rockets. But I don't really have any idea. I don't have much experience.
Mm-hmm. Alonso, have you tried doing much with the Turian Saboteur? What would you say you tend to prefer? You go armor damage, flamethrower, cryo ammo plus rockets, or different combo? There is also that homing grenade. Yeah. Take a quick look at that. This seeking grenade to track down a target, causing a massive explosion on impact. Starts at 800 damage. Capacity, further damage, or impact radius. Grenade capacity. Fire effect. Ooh, okay, so that sounds like that could be a primer in that case. Switch to armor. Decrease weapon damage, mitigation of armor targets. Ooh, strong debuff. Or just maximize the damage.
Oh, actually, since we're going for engineer on this one, I might if you go for the flamethrower, I might pull out the chain overload engineer.
Yeah, that could work. Alonso says flame is good. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna go
Whoopsies.
all out damage then. Like 100% bonus damage against armor is just so humongous.
Yeah, I mean you gotta consider that that isn't necessarily everything that your turret is going to be doing, because
That's
like
true.
that's not going to increase your flamethrower, of course, but it is extremely good against armor, whereas cryo is better at crowd control. So it just kind of depends on what you want your turret to do.
Yeah, and flamethrower already is effective against armor, right? Or usually it is. I don't know if that's just because it tends to go along with other armor damage buffs. It may not be available in this case, but could I basically already have all the armor countering that I need with just flamethrower, and then in that case maybe cryo ammo is more so just covering for what the weakness of the turret might otherwise be. Armor ammo is effective on gold and plat.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Alright, let's go. Armor and flamethrower. Let's go for that. Then Alonso's saying the sabotage could be quite effective. I think this is my first character with sabotage that I've started to play, so let's see. So
Yeah, that last evolution on sabotage is going to be juicy.
Hack synthetics fighting on your side, move faster, do 50% more damage, or increase all tech power damage done to target by 50%? Ooh. Those both sound pretty sweet. Yeah, then Alonso says maybe the cryo ammo would be better on silver, so yeah, kind of a question of which one are you optimizing for? Yeah, since there are more boss enemies on the higher levels, that makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah, so sabotage to 6 probably. It sounds like. This is it is a very long recharge time. Increased damage taken by 60% when enemy weapons overheat. Yeah, so it seems like you can make this a pretty powerful debuff if you get increased damage taken by 60% as well as increase all tech power damage done to target by 50%. I mean, that's just like...
Oh, I should say backfire. The damage from backfire. That's just So when you use sabotage, if it's a synthetic enemy like a Geth, it'll turn them onto your side for just a second. If you use it against an organic enemy, it'll hack the weapon and make it overheat. When it says increased damage taken by 60%, that's the damage from the overheat. That is not a damage debuff that goes on the enemy.
Gotcha. That case, maybe even duration then. It does have some damage over time. So the duration, although slower, does still affect the damage, the total damage. And for the hacking AI or synthetic enemies, that is obviously nice to have them under control for longer. You think down, down?
Yeah. The tech damage, the backfire damage probably is still better. It's just the wording is a little bit deceptive on it, but
So basically all down. So the backfire, even if the wording is a little misleading, still quite effective. Recharge speed, yeah, because it takes a long time to get this off. What would otherwise it's explosive hack. Synthetics explode when destroyed. Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess in either case, you know, with the backfire and with the synthetic side, you're talking about, well, it's only going to work on like 50% of your enemies, but so be it. Let's go this. Then we'll go tech vulnerability, you say. That's definitely, I can see that being very strong. Then, how much do we want for homing grenade? Because that will, of course, affect how much is left over for Armiger Legion and fitness.
yeah, Armature Legion and
Armature?
fitness. Yeah, it might be Armature, might be Armature. I'm
I
not sure.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that word before.
So yeah, I mean, I would say this seems like a character. If I were to speculate, this seems like a character where a 66653 would be like pretty reasonable. Where maybe you wouldn't need too much fitness because you can. I mean, you can handily do everything you do from a distance, and your sentry turret can draw a little bit of fire as well.
Mhm.
And sabotage, of course, if you can hack a synthetic enemy, it can draw more fire, or you can just use it as hit stun on normal enemies. But yeah, like I think it kind of makes sense that maybe you wouldn't need that much fitness, and you could just take that to 3 and then get your power damage out of Armature Legion and get a souped up homing grenade, and just have your grenade and turret just like shred stuff. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I do really like if I could get the armor damage on the homing grenade and combine that with, what was it, sabotage? Increasing all tech power damage done to target by 50%. I mean, that just means tech is going to absolutely demolish any targets there.
Yeah, sabotage into homing grenade is just gonna murder the stuff.
So I think we go that route then. That sounds reasonable to me. I will readily admit that I very, very rarely tend to use grenade-based abilities, but, you know, there's only one way to change that. You gotta practice them. And if you're gonna practice them, then all the more reason to, well, upgrade them and incentivize that move. Let's see, damage versus impact radius. What is the radius is by default 2. I don't know. Damage is pretty sizable. He is gonna, I mean, it's not sure. It is 50%, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to consider that the 50% is only one additional meter.
Right, that's the thing.
50% sounds like a lot, but the radius already isn't all that big.
I was just looking at that number down there and saying to myself, I mean, are you really going to be taking out many enemies with this? Because I feel like you aren't. It's not a huge radius.
Yeah. I mean, I know the way I expect homing grenades on at least N7 Demolisher is just damage with rank 4, fire damage with rank 5, and then armor damage with rank 6, and it sounds like Alonso's saying something similar.
Max out on the damage? Okay. Yeah. And that would mean... does that mean an additional capacity so you can throw more of them? Or does that mean giving it the fire damage?
I would say the fire damage. You can get grenade capacity from other places. It might be a little more difficult to do that if you don't have much gear that does it, but
I think I do have some.
I'm gonna say, and just like the difference of if it was 2 grenade capacity, then maybe there would be some times when you take it if you don't have the right gear yet. But since it's only 1 compared to that additional 50% fire damage, I would say the fire damage is like pretty significantly better. Like even if you don't have the best gear
I
for
think I have
grenade
some that
capacity.
give +2 grenade capacity. I think those are some of the ones that I have most heavily upgraded right now.
Yeah, then you'll be fine.
Okay. And then it's armor damage, I would think. The decreasing weapon damage mitigation of armored targets by 50% sounds pretty sweet. In terms of pure direct damage, split grenade is higher. Yeah, and Alonso says I also prefer the fire damage. Okay. Yeah, let's go, I think, armor damage for this. Probably makes more sense. So then we were saying... So I did go differently from what Alonso's saying he usually does. He said he actually goes 0 on the sentry turret.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just because you can't, for like gold and plat especially, it's just not something that you can rely on as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for silver, the turret should do fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, sabotage into homing grenade will give you just obscene damage for flat, which makes a lot of sense.
So then that leaves us with what? We said, if we go all out on this, how many points can we take on? It's what, 5 and 3?
Yeah, 6, 6, 6, 5, 3.
Okay. Then weapon damage, or, I mean, it's gotta be power damage, right? Power damage and then power damage again, I would think. Not really focusing on the weapons.
Yeah, especially since we've gone for the turret on this build too. This will also affect that, which is nice.
Okay, then
and it'll also make the grenades hit way harder.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So that leaves us with... The health is definitely still on the low side. The shields are decent, at a little under 1,000. I wouldn't call it tanky, but... You know, you can hide behind stuff relatively easily and just throw the turret out there, I guess. Okay. Then, weapons-wise, for this one at least, remember, we're going all pistols. And what does that mean we would like to do? I mean, Carnifex is always tempting if we're just going for the pure damage on it, although we do a lot of anti-armor related stuff, so maybe getting something that focuses on shields might not be a bad idea. Yeah, on gold and platinum, enemies will just demolish the turret in a second. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense why you wouldn't focus on it then. So I'm thinking either Carnifex for the pure damage, or something like Acolyte, or Arc Pistol to be an anti-shields option.
Yeah, I think Acolyte would make a decent amount of sense if you are going for a pistol on it. Just because, I mean, because we took armor piercing and flamethrower on sentry turret.
Armor piercing and flamer, yeah.
Yeah, so like that thing is going to shred armor for sure. I could see going kind of more all-purpose though, because also, I mean, your sentry turret is going to take a second to deploy. So, you know, if an enemy starts rushing you, maybe you want something that can, you know, handle, that's a little more versatile. And maybe you would want Carnifex. Eagle? Yeah, Eagle's very good if you have it, for sure.
Eagle? I don't think I've ever tried it. Let me see. Do I have it? I do. What is this one? Eagle is a compact, fully automatic pistol that delivers unprecedented accuracy and punch with a rapid firing rate. Eagle is named after the Desert Eagle, classic handgun with gained romantic reputation among gun collectors, thanks to popularity in Earth action movies. This is true. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So it's also high rate of fire for a
Yeah,
pistol.
the Eagle is just a very good pistol all around, and it's really light.
I don't think I've ever used it, no. Didn't I have the... Yeah, power damage, 10%, I would think would be helpful as well. I mean, I wish this was more heavily upgraded, but I don't think we need to go lightweight or anything like that. Accuracy-wise, looks decent, so may not need anything to help there. And I don't think we need anything to increase damage to armor, since that's pretty much covered.
Yeah, I think damage and power damage makes sense.
Unless, numbers-wise, if I have one that's more heavily upgraded than the other, but I think we just stick with this. Yeah, 200% recharge speed's definitely fine there. Yeah, it's light and the damage is not bad. Okay, cool. Let me just make sure that I think Omni Capacitors might still work here. That's what? That's tech damage and recharge speed. Not sure how much I'm going to need the recharge speed, but tech damage certainly works, so sure, I guess. So in that case, I think I'm good to go.
Yeah, I am pulling out the N7 Demolisher, so if you need some extra grenades, I can't promise that I won't be taking all of them, but I will have a supply pile on.
Oh, hold on, that reminds me.
Sometimes.
One sec. I actually want to take something else. I want to increase the grenade capacity. Now that you mention it. I can get +2 with Warfighter. Do I have anything else that does that? Full damage, damage, recharge speed. Oh, I did get hydraulic joints a while back, apparently. I did not remember I had that. Thermal clip capacity? No, that's not it. Yeah, so I think we're looking at, in that case, Warfighter. Assault rifle, not so relevant, but +2 max grenades I think is probably useful. Hopefully more useful.
Yeah, I'm saying, because that should, with the little capacity upgrade that you get from the power itself, that should set you to 4, which is a nice amount to just have.
Mm-hmm. And remind me, can you get that back from going to an ammo source?
Yep.
Okay.
There are same as thermal clips. There's a limited number, like for each wave, and it tends to become a lot more relevant with grenades, just because if you start using them a lot, you're gonna run out pretty fast. Which is, of course, why N7 Demolisher, who is a super grenade-based class, specifically has a power that gives you grenades back.
Okay, so let's throw that down there. There he is. He's so much smaller than I expected it would be. Okay, come out.
More shields! All clear. Good work.
So this is what this weapon fires like. That's important to know. Yes, it's assault rifle-like.
Enemy force approaching.
Its rate of fire, at least.
Understood.
This is not a great place to be right now.
Team member is hurt.
Go. Let's see if I get to Alonso here.
Hold on.
Now I'm just experimenting a bit with the sabotage. See what that's like. Start off with the turret.
Mission accomplished. Enemy is regrouping. We got lucky. High-profile enemy personnel are in
All
your
right.
area.
This will be a good test.
Targets, you know what to do.
Got it. Move out.
That's the explosion.
Nice work. Target down. We've marked a new target. Half the targets are down.
Ow.
Spotted a new target.
Oop.
I'm out.
Squad member in trouble.
Nice work.
Thank you.
We need that target taken out. Target down. Last target is in play. Go get him.
Yeah, but you still have another? Where is it? Oh, still over here.
We still have an active target. Get him. Targets are down. Let's wrap this up.
All right.
Headshot.
All clear. Good work. Enemy is regrouping. Enemies approaching.
Spawning. There we go.
All right, is that a fruit? No, that is not a fruit. It's just a husk. That's something. Oh, it's just a cannonball. Okay, here's a fruit. Let's test some things out here. Oh, I missed. Oh, no. Okay, it does... Well, it does home. I suppose that's kind of the idea.
What is it?
Fine work, team. Area secure. Enemy is regrouping. Bogeys incoming.
Alright. Should be getting Banshees this wave, right? I think. Yep.
Sounds like it.
Now we got Root coming this way. And Banshee as well.
Okay. Hopefully it should be dead in just a sec.
Don't like this Banshee right now.
Ooh.
Getting flanked by Root. We are getting flanked by
Yep.
Root indeed.
Get this grenade up. There we go.
Watch it.
Ah, okay, I got one.
Hang tight.
Gotcha. And she is still up though. So,
Yep. Ah, power shielded. There we go. There we go. Use that.
okay. You're not dead. You are now.
Well done, team.
That's
Enemy forces down to half strength. You're looking for a military hard drive lost in this area.
Okay. It is
Bring it in.
close to me. I'm just gonna take it.
okay.
Get back to the extraction zone.
That might hit something. Who knows? Alright, got this one down.
Check recovered. Good work.
Okay.
We have intel that the Geth lost a device.
That's also pretty close.
Find it and
Was
bring
it
it
around the other? That's around the other side. Okay. I can nab it.
Nice job. Get back to the extraction zone.
Oh, this good boy.
It is kind of funny how I am just occasionally getting little kill notifications that are absolutely coming from the drone and not me, because I'm nowhere near anyone right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes Century Tweet so much fun. It's just popping it down. Because, like, once you actually spec it out to do big damage, it can hold its own on silver, just not on higher difficulties.
Good shot!
Clean sweep. Well done. Enemy is regrouping.
Yeah, if you need any grenades, I'm chucking out as many as I can with this pylon. I'm taking a good chunk of them, but basically the gist is the pylon will generate about 2 grenades every 18 seconds or so. And it'll also, basically it'll automatically generate 2 as soon as it's spawned. Which is why you see me placing the pylon on top of what it already is sometimes, just to reset it.
Goodbye. Hopefully.
Probably feel it. Okay. Here we go.
I'm hit! Shields down!
Flame them, drone! Fire now. This guy? Fighting a Ravager? Sorry, but you're probably not gonna win that. Oh, that was a waste.
Amateur!
Where are they?
Enemy is down to 1.
Last hostile!
There we go. Sniped him with the cone effects.
Nice.
Sometimes you don't even need a scope to turn the cone effects into a sniper rifle.
Alonzo's saying the internet's not really working for him. It's like, yeah, he actually dropped out for this one.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by. You know, if it does come back, of course. Happy to get you back in.
Wounded! Shields going!
You know what it is? I think it's that the turret keeps on taking out the swarmers. That's why I'm getting these little point totals.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of them. Especially because, I mean, if it whips out the flamethrower on a on a bunch of swarmers, they're just all gonna die at once.
Yeah, true.
Stop it!
Oh, hello. The actual source of that.
These grenades do so much damage. Oh, you get out of here. There we go. Stop that.
Alright. Don't do that.
Mission accomplished. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload.
For small ones, sabotage that. Oh, true. The sabotage sets up the damage. Right. Good point. Got a about that aspect of it.
There you go.
Okay, got some marauders down here. Sure, I can actually get you from here.
Grenades back.
Oh, that is a cool heavy melee.
Shields down.
Yeah, it is. The Armature Legion ones have really cool melee. Okay, Banshee should be dead. There we go.
Hey, thank you.
Have a splat pile on, buddy.
Ravager, that is a Raptor. Hold on.
Not long. Alright, we're gonna factory kill it. There we go.
Go away, swarmers.
Got a nice splat pile on top. There we go. Replace it.
That's all of them. Good work.
That's it.
Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping. We got lucky.
Back up.
High
Up
profile
here.
enemy personnel are in your area.
Careful.
Locate those targets. Take them out.
Okay, it's Banshee.
Yep. Cool.
I'm hit.
Ow. Ho, ho. Got demolished by a Ravager. Is this it? This is it. Potentially even missile it, but... Not that that hit it.
I'm down.
Ow. Alright, I'm gonna get stomped. Let's not let that happen.
Nice shot.
Thanks. There we go. Oh, this thing's still alive? Okay, there we go.
Okay, who is said strategic target? I think it's a Banshee. It is. It is right on top of me. Okay, nice. Oh, stand here. Not you, though. Still got me.
Shields going.
Good job. Target offline. Last target is spotted. Take him down. Squad member needs help.
That was overkill. I meant to make that a sabotage.
Still in play. Step on it.
Oh, where'd you come from?
I'm hit.
Mission accomplished. All targets down.
It's hard to time heavy melee though, because it's like a round pound wombo combo slam.
Yeah, and the spacing it out is weird.
It does
'cause
not go right
zooms
next to
you
you.
forward. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna take that guy real quick. He's dead. Okay.
It's almost like a weird ranged melee.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. That's why I was having some trouble with the Trillion Havoc before. I was getting used to that because he's got the same one.
Good shooting. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload. Get to the extraction zone.
Okay. Why am I losing shields? Oh, because I don't have this.
Shuttle on its way. Find the LZ.
There we go.
So.
Nice. We got Banshee behind us, possibly?
Ooh,
Yeah, we do. We do. Heads up.
Good call.
I'm gonna go the other way.
LZ spotted. Get going.
Okay. I wanted this. Really?
But,
It's down.
pop those and we got away from that thing and it's bad fire damage. I apparently killed a Marauder somewhere. Don't know how that happened.
Such is the way of things.
Whoopsies. Come on, get over it.
Banshee incoming, kinda, sorta. Ah, we're fine. Don't worry about it. We're good. How do I like this build? I think I definitely need more practice on it. It's strange because so much of your damage is sort of passive. You know, you throw out the turret, and then the turret does the stuff for you. The sabotage, I mean, certainly if you're trying to hack synthetic enemies, then the synthetic enemies are doing a lot of the work for you that way. It just feels like there's not that much direct damage.
I mean, that's what you get out of Sabotage Homing Grenade, because the Sabotage makes them take
Yeah.
50% more attack damage, and then the Homing Grenade just goes completely nuts.
Yeah, so only once I started to make more of a habit of leading off with the sabotage did it start to feel like, okay, now I kind of start to get where this starts to piece together. But I was initially leading off with the turret and kind of just seeing how the turret could do by itself. And that felt like, I mean, it's nice to get, little bits of damage here and there. And, like I said, you get little kills every now and again. But, yeah, I don't know. I suppose I don't have I'm not a huge fan of the turret, I would say, from my first impression. So I could definitely see how you were saying, Alonzo, you tend to go nothing into the turret and then focus on other things instead. Because it seemed like that was more so where things started to click. Things started to get much better once I started focusing more on the sabotage and the grenades.
I'll say, because that's what's gonna give you your boss damage for sure. Whereas your turret, like on silver, you can just it's just that you can kind of fire your turret into a group of enemies and not really worry about it if you've got to upgrade it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And your turret will also help you out with boss damage because of the armor piercing and fire and stuff. But the sabotage grenades is what's going to be your main source of boss damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's basically what I did, was I just, saw a bunch of little enemies there, a bunch of cannibals, okay, let's throw, I guess, a turret over there, and hope that it takes some things out. I basically threw it, directly on top of them, which, that maybe wasn't the best idea, should have given it a little more space to attack it from afar, but, yeah, so, first impression, turret, I probably could have used it a little bit better if I had given it a little bit more space to attack people from, rather than just right on top of everyone. But it seemed like the sabotage and the grenades was maybe more so where you could really start to see the damage start to add up. And using it for weapon damage as well, yeah, that's another thing. I did not focus on the weapon damage. I focused on the power damage instead.